Is the Joker really worth watching? Hello there, my fellow moviegoers. Chris is back here in the movie chair, and there's a lot of anticipation heading into this weekend with the release of Warner Brothers and DC's new film, Joker. A new origin story about the clown prince of crime from the DC universe. Now, heading into this movie, I did not know what to expect or what we were going to be seeing, and when I left the movie theater, I was kind of speechless. I didn't know what to think. But after a couple of hours and a full day of thinking about it, my thoughts have come to my head, and I would love to share what I felt about this movie, The Joker, with you guys right now. Before I do, I just want to remind you that if you enjoy this, please remember to like it and also to subscribe to the channel, because it's your support that will help make this channel a big success one day. So now let's take a look at this movie. Let's start with the story. The story is a very high psychological evaluation of Arthur. When we're going through this movie, we are pretty much him. We see what he sees. We go about his daily life with his job, what he deals with his mother, his relationships with women, all of that stuff. And we can actually, when doing this, we actually start building a good kind of, we can actually start to build sympathy towards his character, because we see the hardships that he goes through. He has a lot of trouble with the psychological disabilities he has, like the compulsive laughing at impromptu moments and like really inappropriate moments, if you would say. And how he struggles with that, having to take care of his mother, the struggles he has at work as well with his boss and his co-workers. All of that leads to just feeling, man, he is really a broken child in a sense. But this movie being shown through his eyes is actually one of the things that hurts his character through midway through the film when it comes with the audience. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean that in like a way that they messed up. I mean in a way that what he's seeing may not be what you are really seeing. When you're watching it, you actually start to question what is reality and which one is Arthur's reality. And when this happens, your sympathy for the man actually does start to disappear, because you actually feel like you're being lied to. You don't know what's actually reality and what is just self-pity from the man. Which, when it comes to writing this kind of movie where you have to write about the origins of a villain and the hero that fights the villain is not in the movie, you kind of have to write it like that. You have to make it like, okay, you have to give him sympathy somehow at some point, but you have to turn that sympathy into something else to where you don't really approve or you actually condone his actions towards the end of the film, because he's going to turn into a bad guy. And that's kind of what they did with this turn. I'm not going to say what it was that caused the turn, because that's going to be kind of spoilerish. Maybe we'll discuss it later. But they did kind of like a beautiful way where you actually start to question, and after that you actually start the second thinking everything he does, and actually you don't condone what he does. You actually start feeling disappointed. And Joaquin Phoenix does a wonderful job portraying this in the film. He totally loses himself in the character, and you no longer see Joaquin Phoenix up there on the screen. It's very hard to see Joaquin. You just see Arthur or you see the Joker. Much like when Heath Ledger played the Joker, you just saw the Joker up there. There is no evidence of the man up there. And when it comes to the other characters in the film, they all do a good job. But really the only other guy that we really see kind of like in a way have character development is Murray, the late night talk show host. Because everybody in this movie is viewed through the eyes of Arthur. So our opinion of him is kind of like the opinion that Arthur has of him as well, because we really don't get to see like side scenes of them on their own where we can actually see their character develop. We just see them when Arthur is there. But I mean, all of the characters in this film do play a role some way in establishing who Arthur is, and that's their main purpose in this film. Their main purpose is to establish more of Arthur's place in this film, whether it's with society or what his mental condition is. That is their goal. But all of these characters and all of these events it builds up to this big climax for the last 30 minutes of the film, which is huge. I mean, it's going to be more of like edge on your seat. Really, you're not going to expect you don't know what to expect in those last 30 minutes. It's even making me hard to talk right now. But when you see it and you're just watching it, and you can feel so much from it, especially when he actually goes on to Murray's talk show and things like that. There's a very candid interview that happens on there that you will just sit and you just listen to what he has to say. It's really, really interesting, and it's just kind of like amazing to see where his character goes from the start of the film, where he's like this shy, almost like this shy, naive kind of guy in a sense, all the way to the end where he's this psychopathic clown who's just saying whatever pops into his head. It's really an amazing transformation to watch. It's an uneasy transformation, and it's a scary transformation too when you watch it. And one of the things that really helps elaborate this transformation is the music in the movie too. Oh my gosh, the music, and I mean, one example I'll give about the music is like when he's in the bathroom and he's dancing, and you may have seen this on the Jimmy Kimmel Live. The music that they're playing right there, it is so haunting. And there's like something beautiful and uneasy at the same time watching that can make you feel, uncomfortable, but there's a kind of weird, kind of artistic beauty to it as well. And, just things like that just really help elevate his character in this thing to the grand finale as well. I mean, the music is beautiful. And they really did a good job trying to make this film feel like a 1980s film, because not only is the setting of the movie 1980s, but the way the film is presented is like 1980s too, because the old Warner Brothers logo is used at the beginning. Font style, colors, the way the credits roll at the end, all of it, they try to make it feel very, very almost nostalgic and almost kind of like historical, like you're actually going in and watching a film that maybe they've dug up from the archives somewhere. Really interesting how they pulled that off, and it actually adds more to the feel of the film as well. But this film is just really a really big psychological journey with Arthur, watching as his transformation happens. And it'll be interesting to see where you actually start to feel different about the character. Like I said, for me, it's when you start to see that his reality may not be an actual reality, and that's when my mind started going that way. Some people may say, well, what about when he first did a killing in the film? That's kind of a gray area in a sense, because his first killings could have been deemed self-defense as well. He did go too far overboard with it, but he kind of at first seems like he has an issue with it until he starts seeing the press that it has with it. But yeah, usually when you're starting to see that his reality may not be our reality, that's when I'm starting to wonder what is good. Like, that's when I'm starting to feel lied to, and that's when I'm really starting to say, yeah, okay, you're misleading me. I don't know all the real facts about what's going on, and that's when I really started to lose my trust in him. Now, this film is not going to be for everybody. I can go and tell you that. This film gets very dark. It gets very, very psychological heavy, and almost kind of personal in a sense. And like I said, there's actually not that much violence. I actually was expecting more violence in this film. I thought he was going to go like on a mass killing spree with the way that we were hearing these news reports go. But he actually only kills maybe about 6 people in the film. But would I recommend this film to somebody to go see? I would recommend it, because it is like, it's not just a comic book movie. It's a journey. It's an evaluation. It's looking at our society, how we treat people. And that's the big thing. I know a lot of people were worried about the violence in the film, but what we need to take away from this movie is this. Joker has one line in this film where he says, "We don't know what it's like to be the other man." And that's absolutely true. We don't know what it's like to be the other guy. I mean, we go about our lives. Our lives are so hectic on our own. We have so much going on with jobs, school, work, relationships, whatever, that we don't think about how our actions affect somebody else. Somebody else may be having just as bad as a day as you have, or maybe even worse. And if we're rude to them, if we just don't treat them with respect, it can actually drive them over the edge. And that's what this movie's trying to say. You need to be more, just try to have more respect for everybody else. Don't take your frustrations or what's going wrong in your life out on somebody else. If you need to talk about it, you can talk about it with somebody. Talk about it with your friends, with your loved ones. Talk about what's going on with you, and try to work, do with that. But don't take your anger out on somebody else, because you never know what that anger is going to cause that other person to do. This has happened with bullying and other stuff. So we just need to remember that. I think that's the lesson we should all take away from this film. But I want to know what you guys thought about this movie. Did you guys enjoy it? Would you recommend it to somebody? What did you take away from it? Please let me know down in the comment section below, because that is what it is there for. And don't forget, if you like this video, please remember to like it and also to subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date with all the upcoming videos I'll be doing for you in the future. Alright my friends, that's all the time we have for today. I'll be seeing you guys later, and I will save you a movie chair for the next video.